This is Capdov. My name is Micah McCullough. Today we're going to talk about digital transformation. So what is digital transformation? Well, over the years it has meant many different things. But since 2014 there's been a broad trend in the market that have seen companies all across the globe advancing to leverage emerging technology, disruptive business models, product focus, to leverage innovation and fundamentally reshape their company, but also look for ways to disrupt their industries and themselves. So is digital transformation just agile? Is this something only for IT? Well, no. As it turns out, digital transformation is starting in the boardroom. It's not starting in an engineering group. It's not starting with IT. It's starting with people in the company, senior executives looking at what they're delivering to the marketplace, the potential impacts of competition and disruption that can occur, and looking for ways to inject a research and development function or component or ability within their company so that they can try to disrupt their own market and also look for ways to innovate and become more efficient and better at delivering the products and services they have to the marketplace. So why do companies look to digital transformation? Well, many different reasons. The sunny scenario or the optimistic viewpoint is that with this emerging technology, the changes that are happening in demographics in the world today, that there are many different opportunities that are presenting themselves to companies that are willing to invest and innovate and create the change within their company and disrupt themselves. The other sort of more pessimistic view tend to be more around companies that are afraid or fearful of falling behind or being bought, overtaken by their competitors, and even a fear of startups. Something that may be new to many different companies out there, or larger companies out there, where scale has held people back for many years. The perception now is that startups might actually be able to disrupt a very large corporation. What does this look like? Well, it tends to be broken down into three core areas. One is innovation, next is emerging technology, and finally, leadership and culture. So focusing first on innovation, there tend to be three areas that companies look at. One is product focus. Now with a product focus we're looking at a strong focus on customer empathy, customer development, understanding what your customer problems are, and refining ideas that best address those problems. This is taking ideas or practices from the world of design thinking, lean startup, innovation games, to truly understand what is the right thing to be building for your customers or for new customers or new demographics that you're targeting. Now another core area around innovation is operational efficiency. This is looking for ways to become better at how you do things. This is, when you look at operational efficiency, this extends across the entire organization. Sometimes companies will look and think, well, we'll only focus on innovation with respect to the new things we're building. We want to leave our sort of old mode one activities as something that we won't touch at all. However, this can be a mistake. The ability for teams to be continually improving the way they work every single day creates a competitive advantage for your company that other companies will have a very hard time copying. Now finally, under innovation are disruptive business models. So disruptive business models are looking for new ways that your competitors perhaps can't compete with. The classic example of this is with Netflix disrupting Blockbuster a long time ago when they first hit the market with a simple thing that most people might consider simple, which is no late fees. Now, the no late fee model was possible for Netflix because their distribution was very different from Blockbuster. Blockbuster's distribution was very geographic, it was retail. Netflix was not, it was all by mail. That model allowed Netflix to create something that Blockbuster was simply unable to meet or match. So next, emerging technology. Now, this is an important category because when I say emerging technology, it's a combinatorial effect of different types of technology. So it's not just one type of technology, it's not just software, it's not just firmware, it's not just Internet of Things or cloud or AI. It's a combinatorial effect of all of these things and the new possibilities that are emerging every day as new technologies, new advancements are made. This impacts the innovation I talked about earlier. What is possible for operational efficiency, disruptive business models for product? Those are changing continually as emerging technology is changing. Now, this is a big change for many companies, because many companies that maybe historically did not see themselves as technology companies, they would look at themselves as doing something else, and they would outsource all of that to other people. Well, today are starting to rethink this strategy because their competitors are actually out looking for ways to leverage emerging technology to create a competitive advantage over them. So this is a major change that companies are undertaking now, trying to reel back in some of those core things that, with respect to technology, that can help differentiate themselves in the marketplace. Now, finally, the biggest change is leadership and culture. There are many, many changes here. We're talking about moving away from an industrial age, finally moving into the information or digital age. So this is leaving behind command and control. This is leaving behind a mode of operation where I have a lot of layers of management, a lot of change management. Change management, if you think about it, it's necessary because in a world where I've created very compartmentalized areas of work for individuals who would follow steps, their work is completely separated, or it's become divorced from the outside world. It's hard to create alignment, and it's hard for the people in a role where they don't understand the whys of what they do to really understand when things need to change. So there's a massive change underfoot in this, and so some companies are doing it and some are not. A lot of companies will focus first on mechanics. They'll focus on Agile, Scrum. They'll look at different ways of working. They'll look at technology, but they'll avoid this leadership piece. But don't do it. I'm going to warn you now, because you're going to hit a wall and you're going to hit it fast. You want to start with leadership, and you want to be developing a different mode of leadership. And that mode of leadership needs to be more around servant leadership, more around Agile, more around developing people. So this is looking at developing people, but also environments and cultures where innovation, sharing ideas, and collaboration are possible. Now, this does not happen with the traditional strong leader who wants to look very quiet and not say too much, hold their cards very close. That mode of operation as a leader is not going to cut it in an innovation world. If you're trying to lead innovation, you need to rethink your approach. You need to come across as more genuine, authentic, vulnerable with your team. If you expect them to come up with ideas and not be fearful of putting their ideas out, you've got to model the same behavior. I'm going to talk more and more about leadership and culture throughout on future videos, because it's such a hard one for companies to tackle. It's often avoided, and I'm going to encourage you not to do that, but rather start with leadership and culture before you begin with any mechanics, any types of approaches. So hope that brief summary helps on what digital transformation is. In future videos, I'm going to talk more about digital transformation with a strong focus on leadership and culture, but also setting up innovation labs or innovation groups within your company. Please subscribe, like, and add a comment below.